Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ABSL News, a part of ABSL 10th Anniversary Special. This is a live recording. Please turn off your phones and let's begin our ABSL News TV show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is ABSL News, first edition of the best news program in this part of the world. First edition live, with the audience, right now, on air. And these were the best 30 years in the history of Poland over the last hundreds of years. But the last 10 years, it was absolute peak of Polish success. It's amazing what members of ABSL were able to achieve, what ABSL was able to achieve, and what happened in Poland. We are still the best example of a successful transformation from communism to free market economy. But images are worth thousands of words. So let's watch 10 years of history of Poland and ABSL. Great history.
Since 2009, when several of our leaders came together with the vision of a modern Polish economy based on business services, the country has developed into Europe's #1 service center destination, and ABSL has been at the forefront of this rapid expansion. Our members have pushed the sector to one of the fastest growing in the Polish economy, while ABSL helped it become highly integrated and influential. We organize events, produce reports, provide sharing environment for our members, shape relevant legislation and work with local communities. Our event agenda includes such flagship projects as the ABSL Diamonds Awards, ABSL Talks and the region's most important ABSL Annual Conference. Decision makers in the public and private sectors keep our reports handy. Our members share their knowledge at ABSL thematic clubs in 8 cities. ABSL assists legislators in fostering a mature business climate receptive to the most advanced investments. In all of this, we are supported by our members and their links to the local communities. Expanding further afield, ABSL is now working to develop the entire CEE region, world's #1 outsourcing and offshoring location. Thank you for taking part in this exciting journey. Let's continue to grow together and to make a difference.
This is ABSL News, live, on air, and of course we have special guests in our first edition of our show, the most important people in the history of ABSL. Jacek Lewernes, ABSL Honorary President and co-founders, I would say one of the founding fathers of ABSL, Jacek Lewernes. What a pleasure to have live audience. Paweł Panci, ABSL Strategy Business Development Director. Jolanta Jaworska, ABSL Vice President for Public Affairs and Regulation. And Janusz Dziurzyński, ABSL Executive Vice President. We are going to talk about the future, what's next ahead of us, but at the beginning we'd like to say what was the beginning of this amazing story. Jacek, I think most people associate ABSL with you. It was you who started the whole idea, such a successful idea. What thought at the very beginning was behind it?
Well, you know, there was a handful of us meeting coincidentally at different conferences, actually. Some of us were competitors, some of us were partners, and basically we said, what is this? You know, we bad conferences talking about different things that to us were history, and we just decided that we needed to do something with this. So basically we said, let's come together, let's make an organization, and this is what we did. To try to make an impact and try to actually build something that will make sense and that will be forward-looking. Yes, and here we are, step by step. We came to this. I am so proud that we have 1,500 people with us here today. And that we're actually able to look at all of this and look at a great future for the next 10 years. Really, in the end, ABSL is about three things. If you remember this. It's about collaboration, it's about content, and it's about communities.
As a father, you have every reason in the world to be proud of your kid. This is absolutely amazing what you are able to achieve. Thank you, Jacek. Paweł, you are with the organization from the very humble beginnings, as Jacek said. Do you remember the moment that marked a breakthrough for the organization?
Yes, it was September 2012, the first conference outside of Warsaw, 300 people in Sopot, and at the same time 11 city mayors, 4 ministers, former Polish President Lech Wałęsa, the President of the European Union, influencers, the people that were changing the situation in Poland. At that time we understood if we, with these people, want to change something, we can do it.
Jola, you are the face of what the ABSL is changing in our legal environment. When did you feel that the organization started to be heard and became a partner for the authorities?
Well, it wasn't easy at the beginning because, of course, at the market we are competing with each other, but we had common goals. We wanted to grow our companies and our business in Poland. We wanted to promote Poland abroad, and we wanted to educate people, what is this business about? What is this sector about? There were two special people, the former mayor of Wrocław, Rafał Dudkiewicz, and former mayor of Katowice, Piotr Uszok, who trusted us right from the beginning. And together with us, with them, we were able to convince the central government that this is really a sector that will be growing from 47,000 jobs in 2009 to more than 3,100 jobs that we have right now. Thank you very much for your cooperation, and I'm looking forward to work with you in the next years.
Thank you so much, Jola. Jacek mentioned collaboration as one of the key ingredients of the success of ABSL, but I want to follow on this issue. Janusz, because we have fantastic guests in the audience, we have fantastic members of ABSL, but they are really big guys, CEOs of great companies, and tomorrow morning you will be competitors. So how is it possible to achieve such a level of collaboration at ABSL? This is magic.
Yeah, my friends already mentioned some topics, but I will start with the first memory. When I participated in probably the third board meeting, I realized that opposite the table, and at that point of time I worked for Procter & Gamble, I realized that opposite the table, the leader of the Unilever Shared Service Center sits. I thought I'm going to have a heart attack, yeah? But to be honest, this is special. This is phenomenon of ABSL, that we can sit next to each other, P&G with Unilever, Credit Suisse with Citibank, etc., and Accenture with Capgemini, and we can still talk to each other in the situation that we create together an environment for growth of the sector, for talent provision, and for creating such circumstances in this country for investors to come and to help us to build this great work. And for that, I would like to thank you as well, and this is just the beginning. We can achieve so much more.
Jacek, Paweł, Jola, Janusz, thank you so much, but stay with us. Stay. This is ABSL News. We'll be back in a moment. Not everyone can be present right now in our studio, but we are able to find everyone. It doesn't matter where on the planet of Earth. We are joining now Marek Grodziński, our special guest, EY Regional GBS Practice Lead. Marek, you are one of the founding members of the ABSL. You are behind the idea of the annual report, which has now become the Bible for investors in Poland. How many times have you heard that it wouldn't work, only to later prove that it did?
Well, the ancient history of ABSL was all about you can't do that. However, we were a group of pretty stubborn individuals who strongly believed in the idea. I recall a moment when we announced officially that the sector will be 100,000 people large. People were laughing at us. and look where we are today. Bill Clinton is here, Mateusz Morawiecki is here, and we are TV stars, aren't we?
Yes, you are. Thank you so much, Marek. Big round of applause for Marek. I'm absolutely sure that he will hear it. You are TV stars, absolutely. Violetta Bobryk, ABSL Legal Compliance Director. Viola, you are the author of the ABSL's founding documents. While drafting them, did you feel that you were part of something important that would make a difference for the business community in Poland?
Good afternoon, everyone. When I'm thinking back then, when I was drafting founding documents, my main focus was to create something which will accommodate plenty ideas we had. I also remember when we were signing the cooperation agreement with the Ministry of Economy and PAIS, we felt that it's something important that we managed to convince such partners to support our ideas. From the very beginning, we aimed to build an organization which will shape business and legal environment in Poland. But we also knew that there is a lot of work in front of us, especially in making wider public aware of the sector and challenges it faces.
Thank you so much, Viola. And now we are joining Christian Bestry, CEO, Adaptive Solutions and Advisory Group. Christian, you organized the early ABSL conferences. Today we celebrate the 10th anniversary. Do you still remember what was the first conference was like? What was the greatest challenge?
Yes, indeed. I was in charge of the ABSL marketing, communication and conferences for the first 6 years. Talking about the challenges, well, getting an attention, getting an interest from the speakers, from the audience, from the community. Actually, we started with 30, 40 people as the first conference, but just after 2 years, thanks to the great event arrangements, we managed to get 300, and it's still growing. We had ticked off numerous speakers of Poland and international, but first being presidents or former presidents of Lech Wałęsa, Aleksander Kwaśniewski, prime ministers, Jerzy Buzek, Marek Belka, and many, many others who actually, together with the international well-powered speakers, contributed to the success of this event.
Thank you so much. And now we are moving to Tomasz Trzusło, Managing Director of JLL Central Europe. Tomasz, as far as I know, JLL was one of the first, or perhaps even the first strategic partner that put their trust in ABSL from the very start. What convinced you to work with such a group of enthusiasts?
Well, JLL services require us to be looking towards trends and opportunities of the market. We do want to be a step ahead of the market, and ABSL is just a perfect example of this. Back in 2010, when we partnered, we felt the sector had the potential, but it was also the meeting when we have met Jacek Levernes and the rest of ABSL board. It was their energy, their passion, their commitment, and their belief in the sector potential that convinced us to enter into strategic partnership with ABSL. Today, I can proudly say that we are very happy at JLL that alongside ABSL, we could take part in what I believe to be the biggest success of Polish economy in its history.
Thank you so much, Tomek. But this is a business news channel, so we run commercials. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. ABSL News, we are back, and we are back with our fantastic guests. Iwona Dudzińska, ABSL Vice President, Wojciech Popławski, ABSL Vice President for Development and Promotion, and Piotr Dziwok, ABSL President. Big round of applause. Important people for the history of ABSL. Iwona, you represent the financial sector, which is the driving force of the transformation in the sector. But really, what chance do we have in a competition with superpowers like London, Dublin, or Luxembourg?
Competition may not be the best framework for this discussion. Let's continue enjoying international investments into Poland, but keep in mind that the success we have had so far is because of the great talent pool that we have in Poland. There is a very important role to play for us, for ABSL, the business, but also for government, city authorities, to make sure that we work together in order to reskill, upskill our people, and that we adjust flexible the education program so we can become the Premier League at the end, and we are on the edge of the technological transformation.
Thank you so much. Wojtek, a question to you. Looking from your perspective, what should be the priority number one for the sector to be able to keep growing?
I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I think it's really about talent. We as a community created absolutely unique ecosystem of partnerships, collaborations, and everyone here, and especially on the other side of the screen, participated in that in an absolutely unbelievable scale. And speaking of talent, there are actually very simple actions. The first one is around going to high schools. I think we should go massively to high schools and help people understand what skills they should invest into, that they've got absolutely fantastic job in our sectors, especially for more complex jobs that will come. The second one is more about reskilling of the existing talent who somehow is not matching what we need, but we can offer brilliant jobs and career opportunities. And the third one, creating fantastic and friendly business environment for companies to come, and especially for foreigners to come who are actually used to the very stable and friendly business environments. So,
Wojtek, thank you so much. Piotr, you are the ABSL president, so you have to know what is the new next for the organization.
We started already 10 years ago, and at the moment of start, we didn't have clue where we are going to get to. And today we are running conference for 1,500 people, and President Clinton is going to be our guest. We are surprised, we are amazed, we are extremely happy. But it's very difficult to talk about the future. But what we know that in the future, the technology will play extremely important role, and the technology will change the jobs. We'll have different jobs. Those jobs which are boring, which are repeatable, they'll disappear. Is it good for us? Yes, it is. We'll have better jobs for our people, and we'll continue to grow. Another thing is communication. Because of technology and because of the need, they will communicate in very different way. We are running a conference for 1,500 people, and many thanks for the team who is organizing it. Marcelina, Paweł, Joasia, Milena, and all the team, you should be proud with this. But also prepare yourself, because in the future, I imagine that we'll be running permanent engagement. It's like running permanent conference, both face-to-face and virtually, and in Warsaw and in other places in the same time. And then the last one is the structures. The structures are going to disappear, and we'll be managing things in much more agile work. I believe that we'll be having less those job descriptions, less permanent jobs, and more jobs which are temporary, or the jobs where the people will be working from home. Those are the main changes, but again, I hope that in 10 years' time, we are going to be again surprised, amazed, and very happy.
Thank you so much. Piotr, Iwona, and Wojtek, thank you so much. Pleasure to have you here. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment. This is a part of our live connections. I think he was the star of the first day of the conference, but we want to join with him again. Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, EY Chairman of the Board of Partners. Mr. Prime Minister, ABSL represents the business sector and entrepreneurs. What makes such organization as the ABSL important for the Polish economy?
Polish economy has been the most successful in the world, developing in an uninterrupted way over the last 28 years. It is a success, but also a challenge, as we have almost 50% of the young people graduating from universities each year. So they look for the jobs, they look for the new opportunities. And thanks to the ABSL, it has been possible to develop in the business services sector almost 300,000 new jobs, attractive, well-paid, starting from accounting and ending up at the research and development. It's a great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister. Now we are joining Michał Kobosko, Atlantic Council Senior Advisor and Country Representative in Poland. You represent the Atlantic Council, one of a range of global think tanks that provides a forum for international politics, business, and intellectual leaders. In your opinion, what should the ABSL focus on in the coming years?
Well, I believe that ABSL already achieved a lot, and I want to congratulate you on that. Talking about the future, I believe that ABSL should get involved into all major economic debates, not only in Poland, but also in Central and Eastern Europe. I think that your experts need to start talking to the experts representing other economic spheres on a daily basis. I would also love to see more and more offices of ABSL being opened, not only in the region, but in all major economic hubs, Brussels, UK, and the United States.
Thank you so much, Michał. Now we move to Marcin Nowak, head of ABSL Silesia chapter, VP ABSL board member. Marcin, you are heading one of the 8 ABSL chapters. How do you see further growth and expansion of the regions?
In general, further growth and expansion of the regions should go multidirectionally at numerous levels and surprisingly also geographically. So the concept should aim to boost the innovative methodology, improving the level of cooperation between various industry, business, governmental, education and universities representatives. So simply saying, in other words, ABSL in regions should act as a business facilitator.
Thank you so much, Marcin. And now, very special person, good spirit of the organization, and fantastic human being, Marcelina Godlewska, ABSL Managing Director. Marcelina, you've been involved in a major change the organization has undergone in recent years. How do you see the ABSL in the next decade?
Well, ABSL, since its very beginning, had bold ideas. So I can imagine that 10 years from now, we will evolve towards think tank with great research capabilities and top-notch experts across industries, on one hand. On the other hand, we've been playing important role as a sectors integrator. So with the support of technology, we could create a huge self-managed, powerful network of thousands of people. There is a great potential if we add to this our international presence. So I believe that utilizing our collective knowledge can bring great results. So ABSL could be a crowdsourcing platform, strongly influencing economic reality in Poland.
I totally agree. Thank you so much, Marcelina. Okay, this is a news channel. We run commercials, we run business, but we are also socially responsible. And that's what we want to show you. I'm really impressed by the scale of the organization, what we were able to achieve as ABSL and what we were able to achieve in Poland in the last 10 years. And I don't agree with words that sky is the limit. I think you are aiming much, much higher than just the limit of the sky. And this is an important moment. These are best wishes of the participants of this conference for ABSL. Let's listen, let's watch.
For the next 10 years, for ABSL, I wish the courage to ask the bold questions, type what if, to connect the people, connect the sectors like we did a few years ago, and we connected the impossible and made possible together between real estate and the business sector. I wish to be even more the talent factory, work with the passion and creating awesome projects that are bringing the value to customers, to employees, and to create a better world together.
ABSL is the people's organization, so I really wish just in the next 10 years that will still be the people's organization. And I cannot believe that the 20th summit, which will happen in the next 10 years, that will be just the gathering of bots. So I really like ABSL to be the not virtual, but the real physical organization that will just help us to grow the friendship, the collaboration and the creativity among all the members.
What I wish for ABSL for the next 10 years is really to continue along the path we've already started, which is really to be an organization for our members, to provide support to them, guidance, help resolve blockages, really to help their businesses grow. But secondly, I'm hoping that we can actually get to the point where we position our sector and we help grow the sector for the next 10 years as well, by looking at new ideas, innovation, new ways of doing things.
I wish ABSL basically to continue its phenomenal success of the last decade. We have everything. Great people, propitious business environment. What we need is perseverance to continue what we have been doing in the last decade. So I wish, and I'm sure, ABSL will achieve everything it plans.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have great expectations for our show, but the first live edition is only half an hour and we are not able to invite everyone. And we want to show you these fantastic, amazing people, open-minded, hardworking, that are responsible for the success of ABSL. These are the people that created 10 years history of ABSL, and we want to show them our appreciation. Exactly. I want to repeat that. Thank you for being with us. It was first live edition of ABSL News. We'll be back in a year, and all the best to you. Congratulations.